I want you to learn from my mistakes. Whenever you're going through things, you have to be very careful of what you give your time and your attention to, because counterfeit gods are always there to take the place of God in your life when you're going through things. Listen to me read a little bit from Necessary. This chapter is called Through the Fire. When we are not filled with the knowledge and power of God, something else has to fill that void. Yet those counterfeit gods never hold true to their promises. They always leave us feeling lonely, hopeless, and filled with anxiety and stress. Counterfeit gods always point us to alternative solutions, such as gambling, drugs, pouring ourselves into our jobs, worship in relationships out of desperation or fear of rejection, the love of money, and so on. God allowed me to reach a very low place in my life. I felt so powerless. I was ashamed of who I had become. But you couldn't tell that from the outside. On the outside, I looked like I had it all together. Nice house, married, my own business, a master's degree, the works. But on the inside, I was filled with despair, loneliness, fear, worry, anxiety, stress, and feelings of being unloved. To make matters worse, in my pride and arrogance, I walked around as if everything were fine. I still had an image to keep up. My God. And with the exception of opening up to a few people at my church, I didn't want anyone to think I wasn't strong enough or smart enough to survive and figure things out on my own. After all, that was the story of my life. Only this time, that didn't work for me. I was out of answers. I was tired. The fire was too hot at that point. I had already tried just about everything I knew to do to turn my circumstances around. You name it, and I probably tried it. Individual counseling, marriage counseling, working long hours to make more money, trying to force changes to happen, going to church, praying, cursing people out. You name it, I did it. I tried everything I knew to do and nothing seemed to work. The fire only grew hotter and hotter. I wish I could read a little bit more of this, but I want to jump to the end because I want to leave you on a high note from what I just read. So I'm going to jump through and go to page 38. And this is once I began to turn things over to God. Strange things began to happen in my life as I repented and let go of my counterfeit gods, and instead aligned my life with the Word of God. I began to experience a level of peace that I couldn't understand. It didn't make sense for me to feel peace when my circumstances hadn't changed that much. It was a peace that surpassed all understanding. And that's Philippians 4:6-7. Because instead of focusing on what was wrong in my life, God kept me occupied with gladness of heart. That's Ecclesiastes 5:20. Not only did God begin to fill me with inner peace, He began to change the way I viewed my life. And even better than that, God had the audacity to begin to change my life. Little did I know the hand of God was always masterfully at work, standing with me in the fire, refining me, chipping away at my pride and arrogance, building my testimony, molding my character, teaching me to persevere, planting empathy and compassion in my heart for others, and purifying me to come forth as pure gold so that I could give hope to the brokenhearted and encourage others who stand in the blazing fires. I love you all. If you don't have a copy of Necessary, make sure you get your hands on a copy of my book, Necessary, and read through this chapter called Through the Fire. I love you all. Be encouraged.